Good morning, everybody. My name is Jared O'Leary. I've been drumming since 1998, and I still got a lot to work on, especially today. I'm working on limb independence, which I'm not very good at yet. So, we're practicing. In these practice streams, there's over 400 of them. You can find timestamps in the description that shows what I was practicing on drum kit or for technique or on tenors, as well as what I was talking about. Because I've been drumming forever, and because I've taught every grade kindergarten through doctoral student, I often get people in the various chats that I have on my other monitor. They'll ask me some questions, and I will often edit those answers down and put them into this drumming tips playlist that has over 14 hours of drumming tips, over 100 videos. And the very first thing I talk about is whatever the title is, so like how to improve the second note of a diddle. That might be of interest to you. If it's not, when it says and other drumming tips, that means there's other topics inside of the description. Just go to the timestamps or the chapters, and then you can jump to whatever topic interests you, but there's over 100 videos. Keep you busy for a while. Now, I'm going to be working out of some play-alongs that are on my home tab of YouTube. There's over 2,000 of them. So if you scroll down a little bit, we've got chop exercises. We've got over 1,000 grid variations. Here's where I'm going to be practicing today. All limb independent stuff, marching bass stuff, some drumline cadences, almost 400 technique exercises. And then here's where you can find the 14 hours of drumming tips, some scripted lessons, like one of them just released this morning, and then all the live streams, etc. Now, I am super tired. I got 4 hours of sleep last night. So I need Shia LaBeouf here to help motivate me to practice. So Shia, please help me out. I need the motivation. The motivation. Yeah. Do it. Just do it. Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it. Make your dreams come true. Just do it. Some people dream success. Well, you're going to wake up and work hard at it. Nothing is impossible. You should get to the point where anyone else would quit, and you're not going to stop there. No, what are you waiting for? Do it. Just do it. Yes, you can. Just do it. If you're tired of starting over, stop giving up. Oh, wow, Shia LaBeouf. I am suddenly alert and awake. And I'm sorry, I have to show this to you. So on my Instagram, you're able to choose which thumbnail you want as the preview. And the video that released this morning, it just makes me laugh. You'll have to watch the video to figure out why is that going on. Anyways, I'm in a goofy mood. I'm tired. Okay, so I am working out of this book. It's called 50 Ways of Syncopation. It's by Don Moyle. It is a fantastic book. It's got 50 ways to work on your limb independence and whatnot. So the way I'm doing this, I'm actually going through a spreadsheet that I've created that has all of Dom's ways to be able to work through limb independent charts. And I have column A here, which keeps track of, on average, how is my playing. So is it needs a lot of work? Is it meh? Is it technically proficient? Or is it musical? So adding in timbres and textures beyond what is written on the ink on the page or, on the screen. So for example, pattern number 2. Which is this. So ding, 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 and short notes are on the snare drum. So eighth notes, and the long notes, so anything longer, is on the bass drum. Okay. So for this particular pattern, if we go across all of these times that I've played through this, on average, it's technically proficient, which means I'm able to play the ink on the page and make it sound decent enough that we have moved on from it. So I'm skipping all of these ones in Dom's book that sound good. And we're just going through this sequentially and trying to get them to all to at least sound technically proficient, where I feel comfortable with the limb independent stuff. So today I'm going to be practicing pattern 41, 41.1, which is a variation of it, 42, and pattern 43. So we're practicing 4 patterns in here that I'm not good at yet. So we're going to warm up with this one. So this one is, I think I already pasted it in here. Yeah. Okay, so the pattern is this. So you can play this on the floor tom, you can play this on the ride, whatever you want to do. My floor tom is a tabletop, so I'm going to play it on the ride. But you're going 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a. So you're doing double strokes. basically between the right side of your body. So right, 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 right. So right, right, foot, foot, right, right, foot, foot. Okay. While you play hi-hat on 2 and 4 with your foot. So. Okay. You're doing this the entire time while you read through the pattern with the left hand, reading through the charts. What charts, might you ask? Well, if you go to the link that's at the top of the screen, it's also at the top of every one of the play-alongs. This is where you can find thousands, plural, of free drumming exercises, play-alongs, and whatnot. So I'm scrolling down into the limb independence section. There's permutations to help you to develop limb independence, and then there's charts, both straight and swung, to help you practice them from slow, 40 beats a minute, all the way up to 240. Woo! Now, the speed that I'm going to play this at is what? 95. Okay. We'll try it. We'll see if it sounds okay. So I'm going to go into this set of charts here, the straight versions, since we're playing, straight 16th as opposed to some swung ones. And I'm just going to pick a random set of 5 charts. There's a total of 55 charts in here, and every one of these limb independence playlists has this video, which is like how to develop limb independence. So if you're like, how are you doing this? The steps in here I demonstrate in these practice streams, but you can actually check it out here if you're interested in it. So now I'm just going to pick a random one. Sure, 6 through 10 sounds great. We're going to change the resolution so you can actually see it. In every one of these thousands of play-alongs, if you go into the timestamp, you can jump to whatever BPM you want, one click at a time. Yeah, I'm thorough. So we're going to do this at 95. It's going to count off on my headphones. You won't hear it on your end because there's like a sync delay, so I've got it muted on your end. But when you practice, you'll hear it. Okay, and 1, 2, wish me luck. So we're using this as a warm-up. I will then stretch and massage, and then I'll work on another limb independence pattern. So this is the ostinato. This is the part that just repeats over and over, and I'm going to now read through the chart with a snare drum. 1, 2, here we go. I forgot an 8th note. I'm so sorry. Oh no! Hey. Couple of the hits the snare didn't go through. So I'm using a drum trigger, since this is like an electric, a digital hybrid, because these are the silent stroke heads and the low volume cymbals, but sometimes it doesn't always pick it up with the drum trigger. Okay, so it's starting to feel better, right, when I start to say that I screw up my hi-hat on 2 and 4. It figures. That's what happens. Don't ever say it sounds good, Jared. Okay, I won't. 1, 2, 1, 2, here we go. Read that wrong. Also, a bird flew in. This is a lot on one foot. It's quite the workout. You know, good way to work on your double strokes, though. My timing on the foot is a little inconsistent, so I need to keep practicing it. Alright, last one. My right foot's getting tired. Not gonna lie. We've been going for a few minutes now. What? 4 minutes-ish? Maybe? 7 hours? Yeah, something like that. I can math. 1, 2. 1, 2. Here we go. That's quite the workout for the foot. Okay, so overall, it was mostly technically proficient. My foot was getting pretty tired there, but overall, we're making progress on it, which is great. You know, my shirt says it. It's hard to see, but it says, I'm here for the XP, so we're trying to grind this out, even though I'm running on 4 hours of sleep. Okay, cool. So now I'm going to stretch and massage. So the first one that I'm doing is stretching the sides of my forearms. And if you want a better view of this, there's a video on my home tab where you'll find thousands of exercises and over 14 hours of drumming tips. There's a video under the drumming lessons playlist towards the bottom of the home tab. And it's called This Hand Routine Saved My Drumming. It shows you better camera angles of what I'm doing for these stretches, and even shows you some extra ones like rotary stretches if you do traditional, or other rotary motions like Steven's grip. Now I'm stretching the underside of the forearm. Yesterday ooh, that feels great. Yesterday I demonstrated on the wall, and how the lower you go on the wall, the deeper the stretch. But don't put all your weight into it. Don't like yank stuff. Don't pull stuff back. It's not supposed to hurt. It should feel good. And every day your hands are going to feel a little bit different. Depends on what you did the last couple of days. So if you're feeling extra tight, that's not necessarily like related to your playing. It could be like, oh, we had a hard workout. Or maybe you were sitting at your desk for too long, or I don't know. Maybe you're high-fiving your little cousin too much. You're like, here you go, high five, yeah, yeah. And then the next day you're like, wow, my arm is sore. I don't know. It's your life. Now I'm stretching finger to finger. So I'm doing thumb to thumb. Just goes twice as fast that way. It feels good. Next. And so on that note, like, the speed that I'm going at with these stretches might be different from you. So you might be like, I can skip through this one faster. Ooh, 2 pops. Or maybe you'll be like, well, this finger is much tighter, so I'm going to take more time on it. Cool. You do you. Take all the time you need. Keep your hands healthy. Otherwise, when you get to be my age, you won't be able to drum, which would be bad. In my opinion. I mean, maybe you're like, yeah, I don't want to. Okay. You do you. All right, so this is the last stretch. Now I'm going to do a quick massage routine. So I'm just massaging up on top with my thumb. My fingers are underneath massaging. Trying to get nice and relaxed. Ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. And switch to the other arm. You notice that I go forearm, hands, fingers with both the stretching and the massage routine. So that's the sequence that I go in. So basically from top to bottom or from like larger to smaller parts of the arm. I recommend that for you as well. Now we're going to do hand. So massaging, the thumb is massaging the palm, the fingers are massaging the back side of the hand. And then I'll do a quick little massage of each one of the fingers, and then we'll get into the next limb independence pattern, which is a doozy. I'm very happy with the progress on that. Ooh, tight right there. With that very first one that I just warmed up with. If you go back like a couple weeks ago from when I first started working on it, it sounded terrible. I couldn't even play it. So it's getting better. Massaging base the tip of each one of the fingers. At least twice. What's cool about like having all these streams like up in public, like it shows the progress over time. So if I'm ever like, I just don't feel like I'm making progress on it, I can literally just like rewind back a month and go, okay, yeah, it's better. Improvement was made. Yay. Same thing for you. I'd recommend doing it at least quarterly. Just go back and like record yourself and then reflect on it. Well, how was I playing a quarter ago? Let me play the same thing today and let's compare it. Do my flam drag sound better? Is my technique more relaxed? If not, then reevaluate some of the ways that you're playing and practicing and try and figure out, okay, what can I do to continue to improve it? And if you go to my home tab of YouTube, this is where you can find a bunch of tips on what you can listen for with it. So if we go here, here's all the chop exercises. There's 63 videos in there. There's over 1,000 videos for grid variations. Again, these all start slow and they go fast, but there's so many grid variations, you actually have to click on that header to show all of the playlists in here to get the wackier ones like book reports, variations, etc. But limb independence, this is where I'm practicing. We've also got a few hundred marching bass related exercises. So there's a bunch of drumline cadences. There's almost 400 technique exercises. Another one where you have to click to show all of the playlists. So like if you want to work on accent taps, or your endurance and speed for your feet or your hands, or roll exercises like I was doing yesterday in the technique stream. There's a bunch of stuff in here, almost 400 videos for just the technique. And then if you're like, well, how do I practice? What do I listen for? What do I work on? There's over 14 hours of tips inside the drumming tips. And then there's all the drumming lessons, which are like more scripted stuff as opposed to me answering questions during the live streams. So check those out. I promise you there's something in there that will be of value. And if not, you can get your money back. It's free. Cool. So I'm going to be in the limb independence section. And I'm doing another pattern, which is this one. So let me copy and paste this so you can actually see it on your screen. Properties. Select all. Paste. Done. Pa-pow. Okay, so this one does not sound good yet. Last time we played through this, it was just meh, so we're going to keep it at 80. And what am I doing, you might ask? Okay, so it's the thing that's above me. If you're on the vertical, it's like right here. If you're on the horizontal, it's over there. So the pattern, instead of going 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a, like I warmed up, we're now going 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E. And you can play this with the right hand on the ride, or you could do it on your tabletop right here, also known as a floor tom. I'm going to play it on the ride. So we're going to go 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a Let's see. What ways can right-handed drummer get better on their left hand? Especially paradiddles? Oh, well, there's actually... I've got quite a few tips on how to do that. So let me just, like, direct you to that. So if you're... Since you're on the vertical... looks like it says J. So the vertical right above me, right here, that link that you can see... JaredO'Leary.com/drum. It takes you to here, where if you scroll down past all of the exercises, there's a bunch of tips and lessons in here that can help out. Like this drumming tips playlist has 14 hours of tips on here, and there's like a lot of tips on how I recommend speeding up your paradiddles. In fact, I just shared a link to a video earlier today. But under the rudiment builders, what I'd recommend working on is if you want to work on your paradiddles or your flam accents or whatever, this playlist is really good for building up different rudiments. So an exercise here called Paradiddle Zoom Zoom. My wife named it. I think it's hilarious. It's a very basic exercise that you could play. You can play it on drum kit. You can play it on pads. And it breaks down the paradiddle into different parts, and then it puts it together. Breaks it down into a different set of parts, and it puts it together. So an exercise like this can help you out. But when you're playing a paradiddle, one of the things that I recommend doing, instead of thinking of right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, paradiddle, 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 paradiddle. Instead of thinking of that way, go right, left, 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 right, etc. So when you're trying to speed it up, you need to also get your brain to think of chunks, so groups. Rather than 4 individual notes, you think of paradiddle instead of paradiddle, okay, so with the 4. So if you can think of rudiments in groupings, it will help speed your brain up, which can help speed up your hands. Now, what does this have to do with how to speed up things? If you think of, like, when you're reading something, like if you're reading a paragraph of something, like if we actually go into here and just read... through, I don't know, whatever this very first sentence is right here. So this exercise is a fun way. So I'm thinking of grouping of letters as opposed to THIS space EXERCISE, etc. So I'm thinking of the chunk, the word, rather than the individual letters. So if you think of your rudiments as words as opposed to individual letters, that can also help. So if you're playing, for example, like a flam drag, I'm not thinking flam diddle tap, flam diddle tap. I'm thinking right, left, right, left. I'm thinking of the group and just which hand I'm starting on when doing that. So that can help you out with speeding up whatever hand you're playing it on. But in terms of like the broader question of like working on your left hand, it's just more practice that involves the left hand. So with any of these play alongs that are on my home tab or in the link that's up there, all of them can be played off the right or off the left. So however you want to work through like any of these technique exercises, just practice them off either hand, and that can help out with that. And then the limb independent stuff that I'm about to work on, this can also like work on your left hand. So for example, the pattern that I'm playing, the ostinato, the thing that doesn't change is in the right hand. And the left hand is the thing that's going to read through the pattern while I'm doing this. This is my metronome. And I read through everything off the left, okay? So this will work on my left hand. If I were to work on a pattern where the left hand's the ostinato, my right hand's playing something, then that'll work on the right hand a little bit more. So that's some guidance for you, but again, there's over 14 hours of like more tips on there. But Jay, excellent question on Instagram. Feel free to ask some more questions, especially if you've taken some time to take a look at it. Okay, so we're playing this at 80. Now again, we're focusing on stuff that I suck at. I'm not good at this yet, which is also something I recommend, Jay. So, Jay, you'll notice I'm skipping all these ones in column A that sound technically proficient and musical, and I'm just focusing on ones that are like, it's okay, or it needs a lot of work. I recommend that as well. So if your left hand is not good at something, just practice that a lot. Don't practice the stuff you're good at. So this one that I'm working on, it's at 80 beats a minute, and last time we played it, it was meh. So inside of this chart, wait, I got too many tabs open. Fixed. Okay, so we're gonna go to straight drum charts, 60 to 99, and we're just gonna jump straight into it. What do you do when you have no motivation to drum? Been going through a depressive episode? One, I'm sorry to hear that, Edwards. Two, that is normal. Especially if you have chronic depression. I have chronic depression. It like comes and goes in terms of like waves of motivation and lack of motivation. One of the things that you can do is shift your attention to things that you normally don't focus on and just try and have fun with it. Let me back up and just say, first of all, it's okay to take a break. As long as it's not like I'm going to take a month off or like 6 months off, etc. So like if you need to take like a weekend off just to refresh your batteries, totally cool. Pun intended with that. It's not going to like ruin your gains if you want to use like workout thoughts with that. But for motivation, one of the things that I'll sometimes do is I'll just review stuff. Like instead of like what I'm about to play where I'm not good at it, if I'm like, oh, I really don't want to play this today. All right, cool. I'll play some stuff that's fun. I'll play some chop exercises. I'll play something just fast, just for funsies, as opposed to sitting there and working on my technique. Or a limb independence pattern that I know how to do, as opposed to the one I'm about to do that doesn't sound good yet. So those are all things you can do. You can also do stuff like, hey, instead of drumming today, because I just don't feel like I want to, I'm going to transcribe something. So I'm going to transcribe my favorite like tenor solo or snare solo or bass or drum kit part or whatever. Or I'm just going to analyze other people's playing and I'm going to try and learn from them. So it can be extremely motivating to like just go and like look up like lock clips of people. Like last night I was at the home show for the Academy and I was watching Boston's lot and it was like super motivating to like watch them. It was also motivating to watch like other groups like Blue Lights, etc. Like they were doing like a lot of really cool stuff and it was just fun to see other people play. And if you're treating it as an analysis time, then that can be a way that you are not only learning, but you can also get motivation from that analysis because you're like, oh, wow, I really want to go practice. Like, I want to play that thing that they're doing. And maybe you'll just spend a weekend transcribing thing. And then on like Monday when you come back, maybe you'll pick up your sticks and you'll start playing through it again. So those are some ways that you can work on motivation. It's just like focus on something fun. You can do something that's atypical for what you normally do. Like don't sit there and grind out technique all day, every single day. Take a mental break. You can transcribe some stuff. You can analyze some other playing. But again, just taking a break, totally normal, totally cool. There are days where like my wife has to remind me to take a break because like I'm just like the last couple weeks I've spent most of my days doing like 12 and 14-hour days, like working on all this stuff on the behind the scenes where there's like the scripted lesson videos or like the play alongs. Like I got some really cool shopping sprees that are coming out. They're so fun that I'm actually going to schedule them in the next month as opposed to a year from now when normally they're coming out. So I have to remind myself to take a break because otherwise I do get burned out where I'm just like, oh, I don't really want to stream today, or oh, I don't really want to practice today or write music. Another way to do it is to try and prevent the lack of motivation by scheduling in time off. So like I'm only going to practice for 2 hours today as opposed to for 10 hours. And like hold yourself to that. Don't get lost in the progression over time. Another thing that you can do is take breaks while you're practicing. So like every 30 minutes, take a 5-minute break. Or for me, what I personally like to do is every hour I take a 10-minute break. And so I'll go walk on the treadmill and I'll like practice Japanese. And sometimes like I have my Steam Deck hooked up to the treadmill, like on a monitor that I put above the treadmill. So I'll just like sit there and play a video game. Or not sit there, I'll walk while playing a video game. So that way I'm moving and it's just getting the blood flowing. Because otherwise I'll literally like just sit at my desk for like 10 hours straight and be like, oh wow, I forgot to eat. And that just like is an extreme level of focus that will then lead to like a depressive episode where I don't want to practice because, or like create or whatever it is that I'm working on because I just like, I burn myself out. So think about like what led to some of these episodes, because sometimes they're out of your control. It's just like a seasonal thing. Um, sometimes it's like something happened in life that just triggered it. Like we had a couple of years ago, two dogs, 2 out of our 3 dogs died within like the course of 3 weeks from each other, just from old age. And the remaining dog that survived like was very depressed. For like a month, she like didn't want to eat, and um, it's a thing that happens to like everybody, even to like our pets and whatnot. Where things will be outside of your control and it might trigger a depressive episode. But when it is something like, oh yeah, for the last month I've gotten like 6 hours of sleep as opposed to 8 hours of sleep, or oh wait, for the last week I haven't been eating healthy. I've been like eating fast food and like not moving much. Like those things can we can control, or at least attempt to control, depending on your life situations, to try and prevent those depressive episodes from happening. So I like to say that I have chronic depression, but I'm not depressed. So like I've been super motivated and work super hard, and like it just have been in so many flow states lately. But if I don't eat healthy, like the smoothies that I drink, which is just like a bunch of vegetables and fruits and proteins and whatnot, if I don't do that, if I don't get enough sleep, like last night I got 4 hours of sleep, if that happens like multiple days in a row, then I could spiral into a depressive episode. So, yeah. And that's not to say like to blame you or anything, but just reflect on like what potentially could have led to this. And like a therapist can also help with like unpacking that. I have a fantastic therapist that I continue to see, and I've seen multiple therapists for decades now. And they can help you see things from an angle that you might not have noticed, where you're like, oh, I hadn't thought of it that way. I didn't realize that this might be impacting me negatively, so that can also help with that. But yeah, Edwards, it's totally normal. Don't beat yourself up over it. Give yourself a break. Go for a walk. Take a bath. Just like hang out with friends, family, whatever you need to do to recharge your batteries. Or just like take time to just completely chill out. Just like watch Netflix for a day and then go, okay, I'm going to set a time limit for how long I'm going to just kind of let myself rest and process, because resting is the sharpening of the axe for the mind. So you're preparing yourself to be able to execute at a higher level later, and that's normal. What's my predictions for DCI this year? It's rather early. I mean, good morning, Jeffrey. I I don't know. It's crazy. So like last night at the lot, like Boston was just nuts. Like I don't know. It was crazy. But like watching other clips of Vanguard and like even Blue Coats and like Phantom's doing crazy this year. It's just amazing how good the drum lines are this year. I will say though, I asked AI that question and it gave me a video. So if you go on my home tab and you scroll down under the tips and lessons section, which this is neither a tip nor a lesson, but under the just for fun in here, this video, 2025 DCI Finals drumline lots, according to AI, it's got like all of those clips that you may have seen on Instagram. And it's got so this is like 2025 DCI Finals, some wackiness where they're drumming and then all of a sudden they spawn cymbals. And there's so many crazy clips in here. So if you want to see what AI thinks is going to happen for the predictions, I'd highly recommend watching those. It's highly entertaining, especially like the last like little bit where it moves away from the DCI stuff. And it's like a drumline where everyone turns into a puddle, or where everybody's playing with fish instead of sticks, or where they do a backflip at the end. And let's just say anatomically, I don't think this is how people human, but I could be wrong. So for example, here's the backflip. Like this. So I'd highly recommend watching that video, the 2025 DCI Finals lots, according to AI, if you want that. I genuinely wish the best for all the drum lines out there, but I have a personal, I'm fangirling basically for Boston, and I have been for years now. They've just been throwing down, which, yeah. Yeah, no, they're killing it. Like I can't tell you how good their lot was. I intentionally like was not recording with my phone or anything or like my video cameras. Like I just wanted to sit there and enjoy the experience, and it was great. If anyone has the opportunity to go see some groups live, I highly recommend it. It's been a while since I've done that, but anyways. Okay, so I'm gonna play through the pattern, and because I've been ranting a bunch, let me just give you a quick refresher on what the pattern is that I'm doing. So I'm not good at this pattern yet, but that's why we're practicing. So this pattern is 1 E and a, 2 E and a. And what I'm gonna do is put the hi-hat on 2 and 4. So while playing this, the goal is to read through the charts with the snare drum on the left hand. Okay. And we're going to do that using these charts in here. So we're doing this at, what was it, 80? Yeah. We just did 6 through 10, so I'll just go ahead and go to the next one, 11 through 15. Sounds great. In all these thousands of play-alongs, you can go to the timestamps. You can jump to whatever BPM you want. And then you can jam away. Highly recommend focusing on the stuff you're not good at. Yet. 1 and 2 and already and... Now, my tendency when working on this is to have the, like this, I'm trying to intentionally play it bad, where it like turns into a flam. So my goal is to really make sure that the 16th note stays even in terms of interpretation in between the 8th notes. 1, 2, here we go. You got to meet Roger Carter? That's awesome. That's super cool. He signed your WGI jersey? Dude, that's super cool. Roger is an OG. I was actually watching some lock clips of him back in the mid-90s and whatnot. That dude threw down. Still does. There's so many legends about him. Can't play this. Oh, Edwards, remind me after this about goals and motivation. So, motivation and goals, I'll talk about it afterwards. It's one of the things that I forgot to talk about. But after I finish, the next 3 charts, then I'll talk about that. Help remind me if I forget. A lot could happen between now and then. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, and... Yeah, see, that foot keeps coming in late. Much with the ring. Yeah, I do have some ideas about that, Jay. And I do have experience with timpani. So most of what I've played is rudimental, but then concert percussion after that, and then drum kit, like less than 1% of my time working on this. But yeah, I have a good amount of timpani and concert experience. So I'll tell you here in a minute. Oh no. Yeah, I actually have a good amount of recommendations for you. Can definitely help with that. There's some cool stuff you can do with timpani. One of the pieces that I did for my senior recital was an interesting piece. 1, 2, ready, and... Okay. That worked my brain. Cool. So it's mostly technically proficient. I'm making progress on it. Yay, progress. Okay, so before I forget to paste it in here, let me put it here. Then I'll add on to the question from Edwards, and then I'll talk to you about timpani here for a second. So the next one I'm going to do is that one that I just pasted there. We'll come back to that in a second. So let me pull this up so I don't forget. There. Okay, so Edwards, one of the things that you also can focus on with like trying to increase motivation and whatnot is kind of going with like the way that people design video games with like short, mid, and long-term goals, where you're like trying to get to the next level, and then you're like trying to get like a new like piece of gear for what you're working on, or you're trying to like be able to get it to like the max level, so that way you can go into like the end game areas and whatnot. So if you can set yourself short, mid, and long-term goals with your own performing, that can also sometimes help with that like external motivation if you desire that, to try and help pull or push you along to be able to reach those goals. So you're like, well, if I don't practice, it's not going to allow me to work towards that short-term goal that I've got by the end of the week to be able to play through blah, or that midterm goal to be able to do blah, or that long-term goal of like making this line or like doing well on this audition, etc. So that can be something that you can do to help with the motivation, but that can also lead to anxiety, at least for somebody like myself who's more prone to anxiety. So sometimes focusing too much on the goal will make it so that I work to a point where I exhaust myself, and then I'll get burned out. And instead of taking like an hour off each day of practicing for like a week. I might take like 10 hours off of practicing by not practicing for like a day or two total. So it ends up taking like what feels like a step forward, but then you end up taking like 2 steps back when you're doing that process if you focus too much on the goals. So that can be something that you can do that could potentially help you out with your motivation or lack of when you're doing this. But Jay, in terms of like different types of solos and whatnot, one of the things that I recommend in here, so if we go to this, let me just show you an example. Under the drumming tips, sight. Okay, so this one, how to improve sight reading, drumming tips number 79. Nice freeze frame. So in this video, it's got a lot of the method books that I have like on the shelf behind over there. And I've read through all of these, and then I've studied a lot of them and like actually worked through them. But the reason why I have all these like books, for example, actually this is a timpani book right here, is so that way I could look at a variety of music and study what other people have written, and that has helped me to come up with like better, more innovative ways to arrange things or compose things, solos, etc. So the more timpani solos you can perform and like read through, and the more that you can see other people do, the better. But also borrowing from outside of just playing strictly on timpani. One of the things that I recommend is looking at multi-percussion pieces or like timpani pieces with tape or with track. And as an example, there's a piece called Animism for timpani that I played for my senior recital. And in it, you actually play like hand drums on the timpani. So you do like a bunch of like slaps and like open tone hits and stuff. Like you're treating it like a conga when playing on the timpani while doing like pitch bends and whatnot. Even putting like a tuning bowl or like a tuning bowl on the timpani and like hitting it and then changing the pedal and whatnot. Like there's a lot of really cool things you can do to get different timbres and textures out of it. Even like bowing instruments that you then like put on the drum or take off the drum, or putting like coins on the drum so when you hit it makes like an extra rattly sound. Like there's a lot of really interesting things you can learn from the multi-percussion and the percussion pieces with like tape. Tyler, good morning. You got blocked for too many letter A's. You found the answer that would get you blocked. But yeah, some of the books that I recommend for this are here. So on /gear instead of on /drum. If you go to /gear, here are some different books that I've worked out of. These are more like method books, like for exercises to work on. But The Solo Timpanist by Vic Firth is a fantastic book with like a variety of different exercises to work through. It's kind of like Cerrone's book, Portraits in Rhythm, but for timpani, where it's just got a bunch of things that you can work through. And I think there might be a study guide version. I forget. If there is, get that one, because the study guide one is like it has the composers in those versions like talk about how to play or why to play. But one of the other things that you can also do to work on timpani and to find some innovative stuff is a lot of states will have like a suggested repertoire of solos to play for I&E, for like regional, all-state, etc. Or they will have like suggested repertoire for what people perform to get into an audition at a school of music. Or they will also have like post the programs of what people are performing on their recitals, so you can see what are some like timpani solos that undergrads are playing at X university or Y university. What about some of the graduate students? What are they playing for timpani? So those are some different like ways that you can find more repertoire outside of like method books or like solo books like this. That's how I actually found the piece that I used to audition for to get into my undergrad on timpani. Is I just went to like I forget what state it was at the time, but they like posted just like hard rep, and I was like, what is one of the harder ones to play? And just went and purchased it without hearing what it sounded like. And it ended up being a really cool, interesting timpani solo, but I forget the name of it because that was, 22 years ago, something like that. So that can help out. You want to change it up to make it look impressive? Yeah. a lot of people focus on fast and flashy stuff when it comes to solos, but if you do something innovative and unique, that I think will set you apart. Like Ivan, what's his name? Pachinko, I think. I forget his name. Apologies. I'm pretty sure his first name is Ivan. But he played a snare solo where he played like a part with his elbow like this, and this was in the early or mid 2000s or something, and it like set him apart from everybody else. And I think it was Prosperi, the judge, who afterwards was like, he played in a way that nobody else has done before, and it's appreciated by judges if you can do that. So if you're playing like timpani and you're playing like with like hand drums on timpani, like that will set you apart from people who are just playing fast and whatnot. So hopefully that helps you out, Jay, with finding some different ideas. Sorry you're late. Work's been crazy. Yeah, no worries. Leftover tie. What? That's hilarious. I last night we went and watched the lots for the Drums in the Desert with like Boston and Academy, Blue Knights, etc. And before we went, my wife and I went and we got Thai food. It was delicious. That is hilarious. It's like, what, the second or third time in a row where we've had like a similar meal? Maybe I'm just like having the bias of remembering the times where it was correct and forgetting the times where it was not. Are you spying on us? What did I think of the lot? It was insane. It's been a long time since I've been to a lot in person, and man, did they throw down. You got Thai last night? That is hilarious. We're in sync. Okay. Yeah, the Thai was great. We had a shrimp curry with crab puffs and calamari. It was great. Very, very tasty. Did I catch the Boston? Yeah, so for Spanx, they went into, what was it? What was the order? Electric wheelchair, and then into double beat. And then, of course, they had the McNutt special. And then they closed off with, what was it, Crackus? It was so cool. It just like totally brought me back to like old school 2003, 2004 Vanguard. I was loving it. It was great. So cool. Such good vibes. And the lot definitely enjoyed it. Okay, so the pattern that I'm playing here, I think I pasted it in there, did I? Yeah. Okay, so it's kind of like the one that I warmed up with. I love that freeze frame. So the pattern is with the left hand ostinato, so going 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and Okay, so 2 and 4 on the hi-hat with the foot, and I'm reading through the pattern on the ride cymbal with the right hand. So normally the right hand's going to play an ostinato pattern like 1 and 2 and 3 and etc. But in this case, my left hand's playing the ostinato, and the right hand is playing the melody with the charts that are inside of the limb independent section right here. And we're playing it at 85, right? I think. No, we're playing at 90. Okay. We'll see how this goes. We just did 11 through 15, so let's just do 16 through 20. What was the cowbell groove? I don't remember. There were a couple things where I was like, oh, I know I've heard that before, but I don't know. Yeah, but I'm not sure with the cowbell and the tenor part if I remember exactly what that was from. Because I wasn't like recording it or anything. Like I was just like there for the vibes, rather than to like record it to like share it. So I can't like go back and watch it. There was a bunch of people recording, so I'm sure they'll be able to share it. And there's probably already a lot of clips of it, so I'll need to take a look at it again. I'm assuming it's an old Vanguard something. But I don't know. Could be wrong. I don't know. It was super cool, though. It was also fun to just see, like, old instructors and then people I marched with, etc. People who went on and did some really cool things for the drumming. Thank you for the like on the vertical. 1, 2, here we go. You gotta do boring adult things? No worries. I appreciate you stopping in as always, Tyler. Hope you have a good day. Enjoy your Thai food. This is a fun pattern. I feel like my foot has had enough time to recover from the warm-up. So able to get through it. Wait, did I go at the right speed? Did I pick 85? I don't remember. 1, 2, ready, and... Cool. 3 more charts. So far, it's feeling fairly comfortable. For being a new pattern, I'll take it. Man, my posture is bad today. 1, 2, 1, 2. Here we go. Whoops, early. Okay, 2 more charts. Now again, the melody's in the right hand. If you're just playing the ink on the page, you'll just play the rhythms. If you can make it musical, try something like the long notes, like quarter notes and longer on the bell, and then the 8th notes are on the side of the cymbal. 1, 2, ready, and... last chart for this pattern. Then we'll play another pattern that I'm also not good at yet, but it's a samba pattern. 1, 2, 1, 2, here we go. I got a book for you that can help with this and where I'm getting this from. It's called 50 Ways to Syncopation. I can't talk. Okay, so this is from this book. It's called 50 Ways of Syncopation. And so the pattern that I was just working on, it says number 42 at the start of the thing that's right here. It's because it's the 42nd way to work on limb independence out of Don Moyo's book. Highly recommend his book. And it's called that 50 Ways of Syncopation because it has to do with Ted Reed's book, Syncopation. And so it's 50 ways to play through the solos at the end, like the charts. And then Dom's book has 20 charts in it. And then on my home tab of YouTube, you can find 55 charts. So I highly recommend taking a look at those if you want to work on your limb independence. And every one of these playlists has, in the second video in it, it shows you how to develop limb independence based off of Gary Chester's ideas and some other ideas that I've learned over the years for working on independence. But we're working our way systematically through Dom's book to try and get them all to sound good. And right now we're in the 40s, and we're skipping all the ones that sound good because, you know, we're practicing here. Okay, so this, when I just played it, I played it at 150. We'll try it at 150 again. So this is a new samba pattern. And let me paste it in here so you can actually see what it looks like. So pattern number 43 in Dom's book is this. So samba feet just means boom, chick, boom, boom, chick, boom, boom, chick, boom. Okay, so this repeats. It's just like deleted. There we go. And while playing through it, I'm going to play my ride with the right hand on 2 and 4 with the hi-hat, while I read through the patterns on the snare drum. So this one's working on left hand playing the melody, so left hand independence from the other 3 limbs that are going to be playing this ostinato, okay? This is the metronome that just keeps going and going like the Energizer Bunny. Okay, so we're going to play it at 150, and it's a straight chart, so we're doing straight, but the same charts are in swung down here. So I'm going to go into this one, and then to select the playlist. And we just did 16 through 20, so we'll just jump to the next one. There's so many charts in here that allows you to, like, you know, work on your sight reading. So don't just keep doing the same chart over and over if you want to practice your sight reading. There's 55 charts in here with more to come, so stay tuned. But I can help you out with that. All right, let's try it. 1, 2, ready, and... Very casual, slow samba. 1, 2, 1, 2, here we go. Pretty basic, right? It's groovy though. Very simple, but tasty. Oishi desu. Whoa, what happened, brain? I know you're tired. I know we're running on 4 hours of sleep and a cup of coffee. Wakey, wakey. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, ready, and... Okay, so right now we're playing the ink on the page, so we're just playing it as written, all the same height. Eventually, when this feels good enough, I will then add in different timbres, different textures, like might play different ways on the shorts versus the long. Make it more musical. Okay, last chart. Yeah, so like short notes you might play just like a normal snare hit, and then on the long notes you might do like a crush or a buzz, or maybe add in random accents or different changes in dynamics. Okay, so that's the goal, but I'm not there yet. We're still working on just getting it technically proficient, which it mostly was today. Yay, we're making progress on it. Cool. Okay, so after you've spent time like working on stuff you're not good at yet, I recommend spending the last like 5-10% of your time reviewing something you are good at. So going back to it. Uh-oh, I messed that one up. Oh, it's 39.1. I'm gonna have to fix that. Accidentally deleted it. Okay, so we're going back. Column A is keeping track of, again, how I'm doing on average for all these 50 different ways to play through limb independent stuff. So I'm gonna go back to one that I've already graduated from, and I'm just gonna do the very basic one, so you can just see a simple pattern for swung that you can do if you're playing in like a jazz band or something. You get a chart handed in front of you, and you're like, okay, what am I supposed to do here on this fill? Well, this is a simple way to use limb independence to do it. So last time we did it at 116, it was musical and fun. Let's kind of go in between, so let's go to 175 today. And I'm going to go back to my home tab. I'm going to scroll down to the limb independence section right here. Again, there's thousands of exercises that you can work on. I'm going to go into the swung charts from 160 to 240. And I just did 21 through 25, so let's just go ahead and do the next one, 26 to 30. In the timestamps, I'm going to say, hey, I want to play this at 175, and then it's going to count me off, and I'll play along to it. So short notes, snare drum. So 8th notes on there. Everything else that's longer than that is going to be on the bass drum. 1, 2, ready, and while doing a ding-ding-a-ding, just your basic swung pattern. 2 and 4 on the hi-hat, swung ride. A 1, a 2, a here we go. Pretty basic, right? But it sounds super tasty if you're doing it for a full chart or just a solo or whatever. It's just a great way to be able to read one of the hits, or again, the whole thing. Ready, and... my foot hiccup. Hello. Okay, chart number 28. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, ready, and... Two more charts. You can improvise on the top line or just play the ostinato, whatever you want. Play it ASMR style. We're gonna go super quiet. 1, a 2, a here we go. Ah! I read that wrong. If you knew Susie, like I knew Susie, then you would like to do, like to do, like to do. If you knew Susie, like I knew Susie, then you would like to do, like to do, like to do. Yeah! Easter egg, you're welcome. Okay, it was mostly technically proficient, borderline musical at times, but, you know, nothing too fancy. That's a super easy way that you can read through into these charts. Cool. Progress is being made. So overall, all of the charts are improving, or all the limb independence patterns are improving, which is great. That's what we want. Now, if you don't want to sort through all the stuff on YouTube, because it's a little bit difficult, you can find it organized neater at the link at the top of every one of these thousands of play-alongs. It takes you to here, which is jaredoleary.com/drum. There are 62 chop exercises inside of here. If you do rudimental stuff, check those out. There's over 1,000 grid variations, 419 for triplet, 577 for 16th note, 36 wacky ones like Hurt the Grid. We've got all the limb independent stuff, so this is what I was practicing. Every one of these playlists has this video, how to develop limb independence on the drum kit. It's the second video, shows you step by step what you can do to work on it. It takes time, but I promise it works. Just give it some effort. and follow the steps. There's 476 marching bass exercises. There's several drumline cadences. There's 386 technique exercises. You can work on this for your feet or for your hands, like the endurance and speed playlist, or you can work on stick control, or you can work on your 5-stroke roll timing. All these playlists have a variety of exercises in them that can help you out. And if you're not sure how to practice or what to practice, in the tips and lessons section at the bottom, here's a bunch of scripted lessons like how to hold traditional grip, or the stretch and massage routine that I mentioned at the beginning of the stream. And then this one, the drumming tips one, has over 14 hours of drumming tips from like the questions that I've received earlier today on like how to like work on a timpani solo, or how to like practice when you're not motivated to practice, etc. So there's over 14 hours of tips in here from questions like that, edited down to keep it nice and succinct. So the very first thing I talk about is whatever the title is, and if it says and other drumming tips, that means there's more tips in here, but there's over 100 videos, keep you busy for a while. So I hope you enjoy this content. If you see a video that's members first, like this one, they're all scheduled to release for free. There's over 400 of them, so some of them might come out in over a year from now. This one comes out on Friday. So if you want early access, it's 99 cents. That's the lowest tier I can make it on YouTube, but I promise it's all coming out for free. None of the play-alongs, none of the instructional content is like behind a paywall or anything. I don't teach privately anymore. I don't have an app. I don't sell a book. I don't sell a course. Let's see, what else do I not sell? I don't know. I don't sell educational stuff. So I want this to all be free for you. Drumming's an expensive hobby. So if you enjoy this content, just use it. Share it with somebody else. The goal is to make it all AdSense supported, so the member stuff is just 100% optional if you want early access. Anyways, I'm going to call it here. I'm going to get ready for Tomb Raider. It'll probably take me 15 or so minutes to get ready for that. So stay tuned. But tomorrow we'll be working on technique. I'm going to be working on inverted diddles. So you can look at the stream from yesterday to see what is an inverted diddle. I talk about it and play through an exercise on yesterday's stream for that. But I hope you have a good rest of your day, and goodbye.